While you were sleeping, China just made every EV on the planet look like a Nokia brick. I'm not talking about a software update. I'm not talking about a new color option. I'm talking about a car company that just rewrote the laws of physics, and nobody in America is talking about it. Because right now, on the other side of the world, someone just plugged in their electric car, and it was fully charged before you finished reading this sentence. 9 minutes. 0 to full. Done. Meanwhile, you're standing at a Tesla supercharger in a Wawa parking lot for 45 minutes, eating a sad hot dog, praying your range anxiety doesn't kill you before the charger does. BYD just ended the EV charging debate. Permanently. And when I show you the numbers, the actual numbers, I promise you, you're going to feel genuinely, personally disrespected by every car brand you've ever trusted. Let's get into it. Here's the dirty secret the American auto industry doesn't want you thinking about. EVs have already won on almost every metric that matters. Performance? A base Tesla Model 3 destroys a BMW 3 Series off the line. Running costs? Electric is cheaper per mile. It's not even close. Maintenance? No oil changes. No transmission fluid. No timing belts. But there's always been one Achilles heel, the one thing that lets every Ford, GM, and Toyota executive sleep at night. Charging. Specifically, charging in the cold. You live in Minnesota? Chicago? Detroit? Congratulations, your EV just became a very expensive anxiety machine every November. Cold weather doesn't just slow down charging. It destroys it. We're talking charging speeds that drop 40%, 50%, sometimes more. Range that evaporates like it was never there. Electric cars don't work north of the Mason-Dixon line, that's been the narrative. And honestly, it wasn't wrong. Until March 5, 2026. BYD just held a tech event, and what Wang Chuanfu walked out and said on that stage should have been front-page news in every American newspaper. It wasn't. So I'm telling you instead. Second-generation Blade battery. Flash charging. Here are the numbers. 5 minutes, 10% to 70%. That's your good enough to get anywhere charge. 5 minutes. 9 minutes, 10% to 97%. That's a full charge. 9 minutes. Minus 30 degrees Celsius. That's negative 22 Fahrenheit. The kind of cold that makes your nose hairs freeze. Same charge, only 3 extra minutes. Stop. Let that sink in. Negative 22 degrees Fahrenheit. The temperature that turns every other EV into a glorified paperweight. BYD's answer? 3 extra minutes. For context, the average American gas station fill-up takes 7 to 10 minutes when you factor in paying, pumping, and getting back in the car. BYD just made charging an EV faster than filling up a tank of gas. In a blizzard. And if you think that's the crazy part, we haven't even gotten to the power numbers yet. Let's talk about the charger itself, because this is where it gets almost offensive. Tesla's V4 supercharger, the newest, fastest one they have, maxes out at 250 kilowatts. BYD's new flash charger? 1,500 kilowatts. Per gun. That is 6 times the output of Tesla's best charger. 6 times. But here's the engineering problem that would make most companies stop right there. If you pull 1,500 kilowatts directly from the grid, you don't just trip a breaker, you destabilize the entire local power grid. You're basically asking your neighborhood's electrical infrastructure to bench press a truck. BYD's solution? They built a dedicated energy storage system into every single charging station. It charges up slowly during off-peak hours, quietly, cheaply, invisibly, and then unleashes that stored energy at full 1,500 kilowatts when you plug in. The grid never even flinches. Your car charges like it's drinking from a fire hose. And here's the detail that genuinely made me laugh out loud: they redesigned the charging cable itself. They call it a zero-gravity sliding rail suspension system. The cable floats. You don't wrestle a heavy, stiff, industrial cord into your car like you're trying to dock a cargo ship. You just grab it. It glides. It plugs in. The most powerful charger on earth, and they made it feel like plugging in your phone. Now, I know what you're thinking. Okay, 9-minute charge sounds incredible. But is this thing going to explode? Fair question. Completely fair question. Because fast charging and battery safety have always been mortal enemies. The faster you push electrons into a battery, the hotter it gets, the more stress it's under, the more likely you are to end up with what engineers politely call thermal runaway and what the rest of us call a car fire. 6 years ago, BYD introduced the first-generation Blade battery and did a live nail penetration test on stage. They literally stabbed the battery with a steel spike. No fire. No smoke. Surface temperature, 30 to 60 degrees Celsius. The competing lithium battery they tested? Exploded. Caught fire. Hit 500 degrees Celsius. That moment went viral. It changed how the world thought about EV safety. So for the second-generation Blade battery, BYD didn't just repeat the test. They did 500 full flash charge cycles first. That's the equivalent of years of real-world use, and then stabbed it. While it was actively charging at full power. No thermal runaway. No smoke. No fire. They also triggered 4 simultaneous internal short circuits in a full battery pack, 4 times the requirement of China's new national safety standard, and still got 0 fire, 0 explosion. This isn't just a battery. It's a battery that's been engineered to be stubborn about not killing you. Here's where the story gets almost unfair. Usually in battery engineering, you pick 2: fast charging, long range, or long lifespan. You cannot have all 3. The physics won't allow it. Except BYD apparently didn't get that memo. The second-generation Blade battery has 5% higher energy density than the first generation, despite charging 6 times faster and being demonstrably safer. The result? The Denza Z9 GT, running this battery, just hit 1,036 kilometers of pure electric range. That's 643 miles on a single charge. For reference, the longest range Tesla Model S currently does about 405 miles. BYD just beat Tesla's best range number by 238 miles. And their car charges to full in 9 minutes. And BYD is so confident this battery won't degrade from fast charging that they upgraded their warranty. If your battery capacity drops below 77.5% within 6 years or 93,000 miles, they replace it for free. The battery sells themselves? Lifetime warranty. Let me say that again. Lifetime warranty on the battery cells. While charging at 1,500 kilowatts. But a revolutionary battery means nothing if you can't find a charger that can actually use it. BYD knows this. So they announced something that makes Tesla's supercharger network look like a pilot program. 20,000 flash charging stations across China by end of 2026. 18,000 urban stations, covering 90% of city areas within 3 miles of where you live. 2,000 highway stations, every 60 miles along major routes. 1,000 highway stations operational before this May's holiday weekend. And they are doing something genuinely clever for the rollout. If 4 BYD owners in any area submit a request for a charging station, and the location is viable, BYD will build one there. They are crowdsourcing their own infrastructure expansion. The charging network isn't an afterthought. It's the weapon. So here's where I have to be honest with you. Everything I just described, the 9-minute charge, the 1,500 kilowatts power, the 643-mile range, the battery that survives being stabbed while charging, none of this is coming to America anytime soon. Not because the technology doesn't exist. You just watched me explain that it does. Not because Americans don't want it. You're watching this video right now. But because the trade war, the tariffs, the politics, they've built a wall between American consumers and the most advanced EV technology on the planet. And while that wall stands, American automakers have zero incentive to close the gap. Ford is out here charging you $80,000 for an F-150 Lightning with a charge time that would make a 2012 Nissan Leaf feel competitive. GM just killed the Chevy Bolt, one of the most affordable EVs in America, and replaced it with nothing. Meanwhile, BYD just solved range anxiety, cold weather charging, charging speed, battery safety, and infrastructure simultaneously, and is selling cars with this technology starting around the price of a loaded Honda Accord. The global EV race isn't close anymore. It's over. And America is watching from the parking lot. If you think American automakers need to wake up and actually compete, smash that like button so hard the algorithm feels it. Subscribe, because next week we're looking at another Chinese car that's going to make you question every purchase decision you've ever made. Drop in the comments, what would it actually take for you to buy a Chinese EV? I want real answers.